If you haven't watched the first two, you're going to need to watch the first two, possibly for this one to make a lot more sense to you. So watch the first two, Defeating Adventism, number 1 and 2, and watch number 3. And yes, it absolutely does get worse. So look at this question. Has the Seventh-day Adventist gospel message been consistently defined in Seventh-day Adventism? You would think so, wouldn't you? You would think that something very, very important as the gospel message would be a consistently applied and defined message as you examine the Seventh-day Adventist literature. But you know what I found as I was putting these 3 videos together? It doesn't. Things have changed in Advent. The gospel message of Adventism is not consistent and has changed. As if you need another reason to prove the gospel message of Adventism is false. Yet here it is in front of us. Look at this slide here. The second angel's message has changed over time. From about 1851 to 1887, the message of the second angel was considered complete, done, fulfilled, over. But I noticed a change when I was examining the literature. From 1888, which is the first edition of the Great Controversy, at least the popular edition of the Great Controversy. Let me just grab it and show you guys here on my bookshelf. This edition of the Great Controversy in 1888. I noticed a change starting to happen, and that is, well, the message of the second angel is not complete.
All right, so I just want to not miss this point. So the claim is, before 1888, Adventists were preaching the second angel's message was complete. After 1888, or from 1888 on, the second angel's message is not complete. So am I getting that straight? I'm not misrepresenting. Before 1888, complete. After 1888, not complete.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's it. Okay. I just want to get that clear.
From 1851 to 1887, literature says that angel's message, gospel message, is done, over, fulfilled. But then in 1888, now we say, no, it's not done, it's not over, it's not fulfilled. Let's look at some examples. Look at on the left. I just pulled 2 quotes. I have more, of course, but I just pulled 2. 1858. And speaking of the second angel, and you can read the whole quote here, from this February 4th, 1858 review, Advent Review and Sabbath Herald is what it was called in. When it was talking about the second angel, it says, you see what I have underlined? This also has been fulfilled in our day. You see, it's done. The second angel's message is done.
Okay. So he shows, and he even says, read the whole quote. I have it all here for you. So I'm going to read the whole quote. And let's just see it. So that quote that he's talking about, let me see. I think we did that already. From the Advent Review and Sabbath Herald. Here it is right here. This is the whole quote. This is coming to us from, I believe it's February 4th, 1858, page 100, paragraph 11. It says this. Let's read the whole quote. Because he says, before 1888, the second angel's message was done. But let's just read it. It will be no infringement upon the design of these articles not to speak particularly of the second angel of Revelation 14. After referring the reader to the above work, suffice it to say that he follows the first with a solemn announcement. Babylon is fallen, is the cry that is heard from his lips. This also has been fulfilled in our day. So that's what he's saying. He's like, you see, the second angel's message was fulfilled. It's done. Let's keep reading. It is a fact that the confused sects of the present day, which we think the Holy Spirit here designates by the term Babylon, mixture confusion, since it is true of them, in fact, did by the rejection of the doctrine of the Lord's speedy advent, whom they profess to love, and whose appearing they ought therefore also to love. It is a fact, we say, that by the rejection of this truth, they did meet with a moral fall, a declension in every department of religion, piety, and virtue. So the quote is saying they fell. Although all may not agree with us in this cause, the fact that this change is no assertion of our own. Out of their own mouth we judge them in this respect. It has been acknowledged and deplored by almost every organ of the religious world as a result of this movement in 1844. It has been commuted that 50,000 left her communion. I put this in yellow. Look what it says. And we verily believe that a testimony is now ripening. What does ripening mean, Randy?
It means it's in the process of being ripe, but it's not ripe yet.
That means it's not fully done yet, right?
Not finished yet.
And verily we believe that a testimony is now ripening, which in fulfillment of Revelation 18, 1 through 4, will bring from her ranks every child of God. That's page 100, paragraph 11. The very next paragraph. We have thus briefly noticed the move that took place, and such as we might expect would take place to mark the close of the prophetic periods. So basically, what the quote is saying in context, yes, we saw this happening, but we're going to expect it to be happening even greater, to fulfill even Revelation 18. Because, Adventists do preach Revelation 18, is that angel that's saying Babylon is fallen is connected to the second angel's message. And he's basically saying that, yes, we're expecting this to happen. So is this saying that everything was fulfilled about that second angel's message? But he says it does. I don't know. I don't get it. Strange.
1859. Let it be understood that the second angel, Revelation 9:8, is what? In the past. Okay.
Let's look at that quote. Right? Let's look at that quote. So this is what it says. It says, let it here be distinctly understood that the second angel, Revelation 14:8, is in the past. That's what he just read to you. But the angel of Revelation 18:1-4 belongs to the present, and more especially to the future. This angel is to proclaim what the angel of chapter 14 verse 8 did, and also something more, which has been taking place since Babylon fell. Is this quote saying that everything was complete with that second angel's message?
No.
So this is saying Revelation 14 and Revelation 18 are connected. Revelation 18 is explaining what Revelation 14 will do. The more, it says, and also something more, which has been taking place. So, I mean, this is weird. He adds, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. The second angel who announced in 1844 that Babylon had fallen could not then also declare that she was a hold of foul spirits, for the history of her foul spirits has been since that date. Or in other words, it wasn't finished.
Yeah, and if you notice something, which maybe of some significant some people, at least it was, if you go to Revelation chapter 14, and we look at verse 8, if you notice, the first angel's message and the third angel's message was with a loud voice, but the second one wasn't. Right? Now,
saying with a loud voice.
Loud voice, verse 7. All right, and look at verse 9.
Saying with a loud voice.
Loud voice, but look at the second one. And they found the angel saying, there was no loud voice here.
Yeah.
Right? Could it be because there was more to be said on it? Right? But now look at Revelation 18. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he did what? Now look at this. He cried mightily with, I guess that counts as a loud voice, right? With a strong voice.
It's a progression. Yeah.
It's progression, exactly. Saying Babylon the Great is now what?
It's fallen.
Oh, yeah. So that means, now it's become the habitation of devils and the hold of every foul spirit and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Now, again, this is to take place, right? So again, that is a difference. Maybe one portion in regards to Revelation 14 was understood and completed. However, there was still more to be done. And Revelation 18 makes reference as far as what comes next after. So I agree with the actual original quote, not necessarily I'm not sure what he was really trying to get at though.
I don't know. So he said in his own study, he found that before 1888, it was complete. No. Just read the context of the quotes.
Fast forward. Great controversy. 1888. Miss Ellen White says what? On page 389. The message of the second angel did not reach its complete fulfillment in 1844. What?
Let's read the quote.
He held it up proudly as if he reads it correctly. It's terrible.
Yeah, let's read that quote. So I have the great controversy, 1888. All right, so let's just read it. The second angel's message of Revelation 14 was first preached in the summer of 1844, and it then had a more direct application to the churches of the United States, where the warning of the judgment had been most widely proclaimed and most generally rejected, and where the declension in the churches had been most rapid. But the message of the second angel did not reach its complete fulfillment in 1844. This is pretty much what Advent Review and Herald was saying. Same thing. The churches then experienced a moral fall in consequence of their refusal of the light of the Advent message. But that fall was not complete. As they have continued to reject the special truths for this time, they have fallen lower and lower. Not yet, however, can it be said that Babylon is fallen because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of fornication. She has not yet made all nations do this.
Right there. That's key right there.
The spirit of the world conforming and indifference to the testing truths for our time exists and has been gaining ground in churches of the Protestant faith in all the countries of Christendom. And these churches are included in the solemn and terrible denunciation of the second angel. But the work of apostasy has not yet reached its culmination. So I don't see a difference between the message at all. One says something was ripening. One says it hasn't been fulfilled just yet. It's still coming.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have the gospel message of Adventism changing. It was fulfilled. It was complete. Now, no, it's not. Let's look again. Let's jump to 1931. Let's go decades later. But the message of the second angel did not reach its complete fulfillment in 1844. So which one is?
Well, let's read it. I mean, this is what this is all about, right? So he was quoting from the Advent Review and Sabbath Herald, May 7, 1931. Yeah, I mean, like, I shouldn't even have to read this, but it's basically saying the same thing. I think we probably read this already. It says the second angel's message of Revelation 14 was first preached in the summer of 1844. This is exactly what Ellen White said. And it then had a more direct application to the churches of the United States, where the warning of the judgment had been most widely proclaimed and most generally rejected, and where the declension in churches had been most rapid. But the message of the second angel did not reach its complete fulfillment in 1844. The churches then experienced a moral fall in consequence of their refusals of the light of the Adventist message. But that fall was not complete. Yeah, I think this is pretty much the same thing.
The same
It's the exact same quote, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just really, and if anybody wants to know where I got it from, here it is right here. So, context is crucial. Context is crucial.